Good afternoon, this is Schweitzer, and this is a little video to help with practicing on a pH quiz. One of our first quizzes coming up here. The way this quiz will work is we'll have a series of questions. I'll give you, so we'll say pH, pOH, let's go concentration of hydroxides. Then we have concentration of H3O plus ions. Is it an acid, is it a base, or is it neutral? And then we may have some alternate question that would go along with it. All dealing with the standards that we have discussed so far. In this situation, I can give you essentially each in any, well, I can give you one of the first four. And you should be aware that I have available to you these particular equations. And if you just watch this video, that might look a little complicated. So let's rewrite this here. And it would be the concentration of your H3O plus ions times your concentration of hydroxide ions times your pH, okay, times, and you got your pOH. You got to be able to move between these guys. All right, so these are the formulas, and usually memorization is not something that we sort of endorse, but you either have to have them written down or you got to know them. So concentration of H3O plus ions, otherwise known as H plus, times the concentration of hydroxide ions equals 1.0 e to the negative 14th. So give me one of these guys, and I will divide it out to find the other one. If you don't know how to use your exponent button, which is a capital E, I would strongly encourage to be able to do that. Putting in a times 10 in caret sometimes doesn't cause problems when you're doing other math. It just seems to cause problems at times. So I use the exponent button on your calculator. Going down from a concentration, it's the same formula. It is the negative log of the concentration equals your pH. I'm giving the one from the left side here, H plus ions, but it's the same for the one on the right. And then to go from a pH or a pOH up to hydroxide, it'd be 10 to the caret negative pOH equals the concentration. Of course, that would be the hydroxide ion concentration. So I now have my third formula, and then I want to be able to go back and forth between the pH plus the pOH equals 14. Those are my four formulas. And what I'll do is first of all I'll give you one of these guys. So let's say I give you hydroxide ion concentration goes 1.0. Let's not do 1.0. Let's do 1.5 e to the negative 6th moles per liter. Now, before we get started, every single solution has H plus ions. Every single one has hydroxide ions, and you should immediately be able to put this number on a mental scale to know whether it's an acid, base, or neutral. The teeter-totter point is 1.0 e to the negative 7th. So, did my hydroxides go up or down from that point? It would appear that my hydroxide ions, that number is bigger than this guy. So my hydroxides must have gone up from my teeter-totter point. And therefore my H plus ions must have gone down. And this thing should be basic. And every single piece of this particular test should indicate basic, because it's all talking about the same solution. I'm going to circle B for basic. Anybody can do these formulas. You can hire a 5th grader to do these formulas for you. You train them, and they will be able to punch numbers into a calculator. This idea requires a little thought. Okay, that's a big picture idea. Alright, let's just walk through the math at this point. I now have my concentration of hydroxides. You are here. Let's cut across to H2O plus ions. Again, this is the math. 1.0 e to the negative 14th equals concentration of H plus ions, which I do not know, times the concentration of hydroxide, which happens to be 1.5 e to the negative 6th. Now again, I'm going to solve first for the concentration of H plus ions. Then I'm going to come down to find the pH, and then I'm going to find the pOH from that. So every time you try it, I would pause the video, try it on your own, and check your math. Okay? So I could have already paused it and find them all. Okay? And then come back and check it. So in this case, divide this out. 1.0 e to the negative 14th divided by 1.5 e to the negative 6th equals 6.6 e to the negative 9th. H plus ion equals 6.6 e to the negative 9th moles per liter. Again, this is the answer to this guy. But you should note the teeter-totter works. This is the midpoint. H plus ion went down from the midpoint. Smaller. Therefore, this must have gone up. It's bigger. I now have 2 of my 4 points. Alright? Now I'm going to drop from this guy down to pH. That would be negative log of my concentration, 6.6 e to the negative 9th, equals my pH. Negative log of that previous answer is 8.7. And this is going to be, oh, I wrote that in the wrong spot here, 6.6 e to the negative 9th. And this guy is 8.7. Alright. Note on a pH scale, 8.7 is basic. Once again, basic. Find the pOH. Alright. Now, I could cut across like that to get to pOH. Or I could take my hydroxide ion concentration, which I started with, and come down. Let's do both, see if we get the same answer. pH plus the pOH equals 14. This guy is 8.7. I'm going to subtract it off here. 14 minus the 8.7 is 5.8. That is my pOH. And if you are recognizing the pOH scale, that is basic. So now I've done several calculations. I have every piece. But let's do one small, more little piece here. Let's try the other formula. Let's go ahead and say, okay, I want to bring the hydroxide ion concentration down to pOH to verify that. 10. Well, let's do this. We already did that one here. Let's do it the other way. Let's take this pOH, which is 5.8, and bring it up to see if it matches our current, our original hydroxide concentration. I'll be able to use my fourth formula then. So it's going to be 10 to the negative 5.8 will equal my concentration of hydroxides. And I should get my original number of this and plug it in, and you will get that. So hit second log button, or 10 to the caret, 10 to the power of negative 5.8, and I get 5.18489 e to the negative 6th. 1.58 e to the negative 6th. And that was my original answer. I've come full circle. Other questions we might be asking about these topics. Go back to the original videos. What makes something acidic? Really is what we got here. Hydronium ions make something acidic. In some sense, you might also say, our next video is how do acids produce H plus ions. We might dabble in that for an alternate question. That would be our next video though. So some random question, at least as of this point, we generally put on this quiz as well. Alright, thank you very much.